Hello everyone, Tina here. I hope your day is going wonderful. Thanks for joining me for Try It Out Tuesday. Today we're going to create a card and we're using a new stamp set from Simon. This is part of their Yay You release. In fact, the stamp set we're using is called Yay You card. I am also going to be using some brand new micro dot sheets. This just came out with the new Yay You release also, and I was excited to try these. These are 8.5 by 11 inch sheets of double-sided adhesive. Basically there are some micro dots sandwiched in between these two sheets. So this is fabulous for detail dies. And so to use this, we are going to pair it with the detailed rose. The detailed rose die is not new. It's been in Simon's shop for a while. But this piece here is very intricate along with the leaf part. So I thought we would use our brand new micro dot sheets to do a little bit of die cutting. For my background, I'm also going to bring in a background stamp called Soft Plaid. I love plaids on my cards. This is not new. I've had this for a while, just haven't had a chance to use it. So we're going to put all these together and create a congratulatory card. I'm going to trim down my micro dot sheets so I can fit them behind an A2 panel. We will trim them down. I'm going to I quartered my sheets into 4 pieces. I think it's going to be easier to manage. And then we're going to put this behind some white cardstock. I like that there is a little bit overhanging to where it's easy to lift up, you see here. You just remove the release paper and then you can flip it around and add this to your cardstock. I'm going to press it down real good. You don't have to really press it down too well because your die cutting machine will do that for you. Now I want my rose here, again this is the detailed rose, to be white along with my leaves. I'm going to die cut out 2 leaves for my project today, and then there is a background piece that we're going to use to color in. So let's run this through our die cut machine. I like that the micro dot sheets are super thin, and you can, if you wanted to inlay these pieces, they're adhesive backed, so it would be really easy to do, but I'm just going to punch them out. And in the meantime, for my background, we're going to take the background dies and we're going to die cut out some background pieces. I'm going to trim my paper down. We're going to do a little bit of ink blending for our flower. So I'll bring in my craft mat. Kind of like to figure out where my colors are going to go, so I use this as a guide. But I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I chose my favorite colors, I would say. I use them often. I'm going to use Kitsch Flamingo and also Carved Pumpkin. Actually, Carved Pumpkin, yes. And then I'm going to bring in Fossilized Amber also. Have my blending brushes here, and we're going to add a little bit of pink. I think these 3 colors blend so well together. And then I'll add a little bit of my Fossilized Amber, kind of overlapping them. And then I will add my Carved Pumpkin. And if anything, I want a lot of pink showing. So we're going to add some to this side too. And I think that's going to make a pretty flower. So I will set this aside. And we're going to work on our leaves. We'll take another piece of cardstock, and for this we're going to bring in Mowed Lawn, and we'll keep our fossilized amber. And then we'll add a little bit of yellow. Okay, pretty easy peasy. I'm going to go ahead and take the coordinating die and die cut out 2 leaves in this panel, and then I'll die cut out my floral. Now we have our backgrounds die cut. We can go ahead and remove the release paper off of our detailed rows, and then we can add this over a background and it layers perfectly. And you don't have to mess with glue, which makes it so nice. We're going to do the same thing with our leaves. The release paper removes very nicely, very easily. I didn't even have to use a craft pick, so that was working out really well. And I'll do the same with this. Okay, I'm going to set these aside, and now we're going to work on our background. We're going to bring in our Misty, remove the mouse pad, and then we can add this on the inside of our Misty. And then I add adhesive behind it. This is how I like to do my backgrounds. Since plaid, you need straight lines, I'm going to go ahead and place this on my Misty and then pull the back side of it over, press down really good, and then we have our paper perfectly positioned. I'm going to heat emboss with white embossing powder. I already treated my cardstock with my anti-static powder. We're going to go over our background stamp with Versamark ink. And we're going to stamp our background a few times. I'm going to lift up my panel carefully, and then I'm going to go over my panel with white embossing powder. Tap off the excess, and I'm going to use my heat gun and melt my plaid background. Now that my background is heat embossed, we're going to set this aside, bring back our blending mat here. We're going to ink blend our background with 2 shades of Distress Oxide ink. I have Salvaged Patina, and I also have Salty Ocean. I wanted to create a darker upper portion, or should we go around the whole? Yeah, darker upper portion. So we're going to add some color to the top, and then we're going to add Salvaged Patina on the bottom. I'm going to use a towel, and I'm going to buff away the ink from my background just so my plaid stands out. And that will be our background. I'm going to flip this around. We're going to add a little bit more adhesive, and then we're going to tack this down to an A2 size card base. And I think that's going to go really pretty right there. Now we need to stamp our sentiment. And And I'm going to stamp the sentiment that says "You are killing it." On a piece of vellum here. I'm going to end up trimming it out, and then we'll fishtail the bottom of it. I think vellum, since this is a large sentiment, we can kind of overlap a little bit. We're going to stamp that with VersaFine Onyx Black ink. And I'll go ahead and clean this off. And then I'm going to add also the sentiment in the stamp set that says "I knew you would." I think that will complete it beautifully. Okay. We need to heat emboss this. Since we're stamping on vellum, it will dry, but I always like to add some clear embossing powder to it, because this way I don't have to worry about it smudging or smearing. And we'll just cover it with clear embossing powder. And I'll melt this with my heat gun. And I'm going to go ahead and fishtail the very bottom of my sentiment. There we go. And then I already put foam circles behind each of my die cut florals. And then we'll add our floral along with our leaves. Kind of doing a little bit of tucking. And this is going to help keep our vellum in place. And we can also add a little bit of adhesive behind it. I have a little bit of overhanging, so I'm going to trim that off with my scissors. And then all we have left is to add some bells and whistles, and I'm not going to do too much. I just want to add a little bit of sparkle. I haven't used these in a while. I got this, and I just love how dainty this is. I'm going to use, these are almost clear. That will finish off my project for today. I hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful rest of your week, and we will see you soon. Bye-bye.